Hey guys, so today I want to do something a little different. I'm going to be doing my first movie review, and it's going to be on Halloween 2018, the 2018 Halloween year 2018, the new Halloween movie that was made this year in 2018, that Halloween. So I do just want to let you guys know that this is going to contain spoilers, so if you don't want anything spoiled, and if you haven't seen Halloween, click out of the video right now because we're going to jump right into it. So, first things first, I think that Jamie Lee Curtis did not get enough screen time. That's the first thing. I loved her character. I really liked, well, I can't say I liked all the characters, but I liked her character and the paranoia and PTSD that she was carrying around with her for so long. 40 flippin' years that she had to live this way. She was preparing for this night. And something I really like to do is when I'm watching a movie, I really try to put myself in that character's position and be like, wow, like how would that feel? Like what would be going through my head? And just imagining, just sit right there and picture yourself living your entire life in fear and paranoia, carrying around PTSD. That's a big load to carry. And I know, for some people, when they watch a horror movie, like, they're not really thinking about that. They're just like, yeah, okay, get over it, you know? But, like, I mean, you really gotta remember that they're trying to make these characters as believable as possible, and there are people out there that suffer from these kind of things. There are people in the world that actually live their lives in paranoia and fear and PTSD, and it's terrible, and this movie focused a lot on that with Jamie Lee Curtis. My biggest thing with JamieLee Curtis was that I really feel like she didn't get enough screen time. I feel like they were, hopping around from, her and then her family and then the granddaughter and then Michael Myers, of course. And, there was a lot of hopping around in the film, which I was okay with. I think it was kind of balanced. I just thought that Jamie Lee Curtis was going to be a really strong main character. And I don't really feel like she was a really big main character. I mean, she was, but she wasn't. And again, that's just because they're trying to get the story with, Jamie's daughter in the film, and then her granddaughter, and then Michael Myers, and then on top of that, you're also trying to understand these journalists, and then the new doctor, and it's just a lot to take in. So really, that's my only complaint. I just kind of wish Jamie Lee Curtis got a little more screen time, but I still really enjoyed the film. I think they really knocked this film out of the park. I figured it was going to be a huge flop or it was going to be amazing, and I really thought this film was amazing. I liked the filming style they did. The cinematography was done really well. It wasn't too cheesy, and I really love one of my favorite things in horror movies is when they don't add music. They don't add suspense music or anything like that. And I feel like at the end when Jamie's going through the house, I should start using her character's name, so I'm just gonna start doing that. She's going around the house, but there's zero music. There's nothing. It's just her and pure silence, and that to me is the absolute creepiest because that is immersive. That's what's really going on, And I feel like when it's silence, you are just on edge. You are trying to do everything to listen to any sound at all in the film, and that I can appreciate. One character I really enjoyed in the film was Oscar. I like when they add a little comedy in a horror film because when they add comedy, you kind of let your nerves settle down. You're like, okay, like that was kind of funny. And then that's a perfect time for a horror film to come right back in and swoop you and scare you because you're off guard. His personality was great, and honestly, when he died in the film, I was pretty bummed. I was like, oh man, I really wish this character got away. All the other characters, I was like, yeah, all right, bye. Like, I was rooting for Michael. This film was so cool because I was actually rooting for the killer. A lot of films, I'm like, oh man, like how are they gonna get out? Like, oh my gosh, they gotta escape. But this film, I was like, yes, slit their throats. Maybe it's because I'm a huge Halloween fan and I love the movies. But yeah, this film, I was rooting for Michael. I was just like, yes, gut these kids. Okay, maybe I wasn't like that, but you get it. So the character Karen Strode kind of bothered me because I feel like the dialogue with her and Lori, her mother, it was kind of cheesy in some ways, and maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe you guys disagree with me, but I just thought maybe some of it was a little cheesy and it was just too rushed, into her kind of blowing up on her mom and whatnot. But again, they had a long history, and maybe I'm just not taking that into retrospect. But also, every horror movie has one of those characters where you're just like, oh my god, like they just piss you off. They just naturally piss you off, and that's what Karen's character did for me. I was just I hated her. I was actually hoping she died at one point, but unfortunately, she did not die, and I'll live in disappointment now. But that's okay, it's fine. There's right and wrong ways for a horror movie to make you love or hate a character, and I don't know, maybe it's just me. I really did not like this character, Karen. If you really think about it, who really does like characters like that? No, I mean, really no one does. And when you feel that way about a character, that's the movie and the character doing their job good, because they're not really supposed to be a likable character. And so if you're really not liking them, they're probably doing their job right. Some of my favorite things that can also probably go in the complaint category, but I'll get there in a second, is the recreating of the film shots. So for instance, Michael looks out the window and Laurie is there on the ground. A sound happens, Michael looks away, and then he looks back and she's gone. I love that. I freaked out at that part because the roles were reversed. And there was just a lot of that going on in the film. They were recreating kind of certain iconic filming moments of the original movie, and they were implying it in the new movie. So those were definitely my favorite parts, but also, you know, that shouldn't be the reason why you love this movie. And I know I'm saying that, but at the same time, that's a huge reason why I love the movie, was because they were keeping it OG. They were like original. The title font, the music, even the opening credits, it was all just really made it seem like this movie was actually coming out of 1978 when the first Halloween came out. I love that after Michael escapes from the bus, after it crashes or whatever happens, he just goes on a rampage. I mean, he's been, what, 40 years in captivity, and now you see him, he's snapping. He's like, oh, I'm free now, I could start killing. And yeah, it's so strange for really anyone like me, and I'm just rooting on Michael. I'm like, yes, kill these people, I'm on your side. And it's just, I don't know, kind of weird when you think about it. But yeah, he's just going door to door really, and he's just like killing people one after the other. He starts off with the hammer and eventually gets the kitchen knife, and that, when he picked up the kitchen knife, I was like, oh man, game over, dude. Like, you're all screwed. Another thing I really enjoyed was that they brought back one of those like iconic scenes where the two teenagers are just making out on the couch, and of course they're both gonna end up dying. They pulled the original plot to kill two kids that are horny, and they also delivered it right. That's something that's so important in horror films that a lot of horror films, I think, lack today. A lot of horror movies today aren't living up to the deliveries of how they're executing these scenes, and they're just kind of weak. I could go on a list of them, but we're talking about Halloween, so we're gonna talk about Halloween. Something that really threw me off was Dr. Sartain? I don't know, I forgot his name. But something that threw me off was the, I guess plot twist is what you can call it, when he stabs the cop in the neck and he puts on Michael's mask, and honestly, at that point in the movie, they lost me. I was shaking my head and I was like, oh my god, did they really just kill Michael off that way? Like, really? He just got ran over and that's it? And now what, he's gonna replace Michael or something? I was really disappointed at that part of the film, but I was like, no, something's gotta happen. This can't be. And sure enough, it wasn't. I was wrong, and I was happy again in the film. Of course, Michael wakes up in the backseat, and what's that? Right, he kills the guy. He kills the doctor, of course. And that's just such a cool element to Michael Myers. It doesn't matter if you're with him or without him, against him, fighting with him, it doesn't matter. You are a target to Michael Myers. It does not matter who you are, how old you are, what you look like, or what you're doing, you're a target. Like, if you're breathing, you're dead. And that's what freaking happened. He just stomped this guy's face in, and his brains were they were laying on the street. I could be going on and on about the scenes and me just explaining them. I feel like I'm kind of just explaining the scenes, but overall, I really enjoyed this film. If you are a fan of the original Halloween and you like the Halloween movies, go see this movie. Go see it. I would recommend it to any horror fan. I thought it was done so good. And I know there's probably a lot of you guys that will agree and will also disagree. Like, not everyone's gonna have the same movie taste, but this is just my movie taste. I really enjoyed it. I do not regret seeing it, and I would probably go spend money to go see it again. Anyway, that's my first movie review. Tell me what I did right, tell me what I did wrong, tell me what I could have maybe added and maybe just could have left out. I love getting feedback from you guys because that helps me get better, and I want to be the best I can possibly be. Anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll hopefully catch you guys in the next video.